Welcome to John and Dave's occasional podcast. So we've pretty much exhausted the stock of things we wish we hadn't done.
But if you think that means you've heard The Last of Us, we've still got plenty of nonsense to discuss. Here we are again. We've had quite a nice couple of sessions recording, haven't we? It's been quite good fun.
Yes.
We've covered a lot of different areas.
It's almost like a guilty pleasure.
It's almost well. There's a lead into a podcast, John. Yeah, guilty pleasures. That's what we were thinking about discussing now. Isn't it? Guilty pleasures. I think it's the sort of thing where, you know, as you said to me, it's the sort of thing that you know that you shouldn't like, but you probably do.
Or the thing that you like that other people are astonished that you like, really, because it's not generally considered to be, you know, not improper or anything, but just what things that you like that are actually quite bad taste.
The sort of thing where if you mention it to someone, they say, "Really?"
Exactly. Well, you see, that's where my song comes in.
Yeah.
Because I really like the song "Afternoon Delight."
Yeah, yes, I know.
Do you know the one you mean?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And it's pretty naff. Really.
Oh, yes.
And it's particularly naff because it was used in one of the Ron Burgundy movies.
Oh right, yes.
Have you ever seen that where they sing it as a sort of barbershop quartet?
I don't remember it.
It's a very funny scene.
Yeah.
And I know I've mentioned this to Joe particularly, and he just laughs and he says, "Oh, that's just, you know, such a rubbish song." But it's one of those songs that I have a very clear image of. I was sitting in a flat in London waiting for a gas man to call, and it was on Capital Radio, and it was a sunny afternoon, and I don't know, there's just something really rather nice about the song. It makes me feel, I don't know what it is, and I'm aware it's not a great song. You know, if you said that was your favourite song, you'd be laughing.
Yes, cool. But it's one that that makes you. It's good. I mean, I tend to think more along the lines of like novelty songs that have been famous.
Yes.
Now there are some that I would never like.
Two Little Boys.
Well, Two Little Boys was quite a bit of fun, really. We heard it so many times. That's not one of the no. I think one of mine that I if it comes on, there are lines that still make me laugh ridiculously. Is Ernie the fastest milkman in the West?
I think so too. Yeah,
because I know, you know, revisionists are all anti Benny Hill. I actually thought he was a very clever wordsmith when it came to comedy songs.
That's a very funny song, but I can remember playing that to my children and they didn't think it's funny at all.
But no, I like that, and quite a few of his songs. I mean, I remember one of the first singles that in our house was, I think my dad bought, was the is it the Garden of Love or something like that? And there were some really quite funny, clever lines in that he'd written himself. And
that was Benny Hill, was it?
It was Benny Hill. It was the Garden of God. The Harvest of Love. The Harvest of Love. Yes. When I walks at the rear of the horse, my dear, I seems to see your face. That always made me laugh.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to listen to it now.
You'll need to get onto Spotify.
I will. Immediately we finish this, I'm going to listen to it. Yeah. And another one, I actually like a song by S Club 7.
Oh dear.
Well, there you go. You see,
I don't know if I can go along with this.
That's the perfect reaction. You know, I like the song by S Club 7, and you say, "Oh dear."
Well, I'm afraid.
It's called Natural.
Oh yes.
And it's based around a piece of classical music, the sort of riff of it. I'll play it to you again afterwards. You know, S Club 7 don't really like anything else by them. No. You know, and funnily enough, I was saying it wasn't to the pub last night. You know, I was saying, are ABBA the band that everybody likes?
Yes, I mean, ABBA's a funny one. I think I've said to you before, I remember in the 70s when they came out, when they were first around, because we were a bit more prog and rock and that, being very, very dismissive of them.
Right, so if you said you liked ABBA then, that would have been a guilty pleasure, wouldn't it?
It would have been a guilty pleasure then. I don't find it so much of a guilty pleasure now, because I do appreciate their... I think, as we said last night, they were great pop songs written by and performed by the musicians involved, which and they had a knack for getting a riff or a chorus that was catchy.
But also another thing, that pertains to music really, in that when we were younger, liking the music that we did, anybody said that they liked Frank Sinatra or something like that, I think music's become a whole lot more Catholic now, and it's okay, isn't it, to like anything. But then, of course, we get into television, and I know that I have this soft spot for really khaki reality TV.
Again, not one we share, but
no. I mean, things like Married at First Sight, Celebs Go Dating, which is really, really good. But it's kind of one of those oddly compulsive things. It's sort of like a soap opera. You think, I'm really not enjoying this particularly, and I want to know what happens at the end.
Yes.
And the one that I've recently got into called Love Is Blind.
Right. Is that the one where
they go into pods and they
don't
see each other and then they get married? Then they agree to get married, and I don't know. It's just something about the human experience that. And a lot of it is artificial, and a lot of it relies upon editing very carefully, selective editing, and people get misrepresented, I'm sure. But
but they do talk about them as being partially scripted reality, don't they?
Yeah.
So it suggests straight away that this isn't just people talking; they've been told what the sort of things they've got to say. Yeah.
Well, I mean that puzzles me about things like which I haven't watched, like Made in Chelsea and The Only Way Is Essex, which. Because there are...
They are the ones that are... They say they're scripted reality.
I never quite understood how that worked. But I think, in other words, I think I've got a soft spot for lowbrow television. Whereas quite a lot of my interests are what you would call highbrow books and films and things. I've got this sort of weak spot for...
You see, I mean, I admit...
lowbrow culture.
I admit it, and we admitted to you last night that I like... The Traitors. I think it's
That's
fascinating.
Pretty general though, isn't it?
And a lot of people like it, but I just think it, as an idea, as a format for a TV show, it's really good because, and we all do it. We all sit there watching people make dreadful mistakes in who they think are traitors, and it's back to shouting at the television again, which I think is great. I mean, it's you're reacting to it, and because of the fact that people don't know what's going to happen in each episode they watch, we're back to what they used to call appointment television again.
Yes.
In that you want to watch it at the same time. Television. You want to watch it at the same time so that you don't suddenly have it ruined for you by someone saying, "Oh, I knew it was so and so," when you haven't watched it. That's a bit of a FOMO thing there. You fear of missing out on the surprise of seeing what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, last week we we were away in Wales at a funeral, and a certain member of our family, we decided we were going to, because we couldn't in the evening watch it, we were going to watch it on the iPlayer later that night, and we got back to the hotel and opened a text message from a family member to say, "Oh, I knew it was so and so." Immediately, oh no, we know now what happens. But no, I mean, TV programs that are guilty pleasures. Yes, I like. I mean, that's quite a modern one that's quite good. I like to watch sometimes quite old TV. There's a Talking Pictures television station which is got great old films on, which are awful. I mean, it's all, most of it's black and white.
Yeah.
But some of the films from the early 60s that weren't the Carry On films and weren't the Doctor in the House films, but were ones that the people in them made as, I suppose you call them almost like B movies sometimes. They are so creaky.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that you can see it's like the environment. It's like, I mean, not so much a guilty pleasure because a lot of people like them. I love the Ealing comedies.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I think they're not so much a guilty pleasure, but I could watch things like Passport to Pimlico over and over again because they're not laugh out loud funny, but the whole setting, the whole sort of post-war London setting, bomb sites and things. I just think it's it just brings all that back.
But you mentioned something just in the Carry On films, and now much talk of cancel culture nowadays, and I've still very much got weak spots for inappropriate jokes.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. It's our generation, John. Isn't it?
I think it probably is.
I think the Carry On films, to a certain extent, have almost avoided the cancel culture, even though everyone knows that a lot of the stuff in them, they're still repeated on TV stations. Most weekends, you'll find a Carry On film somewhere, and they're full of, if you like, cultural appropriation. There's double entendre, all that sort of stuff in there, which I still laugh at.
And that's quite interesting if they're on still, because you can't get, for example, things like Little Britain, can you?
No.
Any longer, which I used to find very funny.
Yeah.
Wholly inappropriate.
Yes, absolutely.
Because the racist, misogynistic. I mean, but I don't know. I would go back to Victoria Wood's comment, which is, if it's funny, it's not abusive, and if it's abusive, it's not funny, or something like that. I think you and I have both always had that weak spot for things that are, strictly speaking, inappropriate.
Absolutely. Yes.
But you just have to be careful about the company you're keeping when you're.
You do, and if you laugh or you talk about these things with younger people, sometimes it can be a little bit sort of one of those moments where there's a few sharp intakes of breath.
Yes.
I mean, I'm gonna. I think the standard of acting is appalling in this, but I still laugh out loud, sometimes funny things. I hate to say it, in Mrs. Brown's Boys. I don't watch it very often.
I've never watched that.
I don't watch it very often. It's a very old-fashioned 70s
That
style
is pretty
humour.
much reviled by critics, isn't it?
And
TV
critics hate it. Lots of people hate it, and yet it's done lots of series. It's still popular.
Yeah.
Still comes on at Christmas, and I will watch it, and some of it's not very funny, not very well acted, but there are lines in it which feed into our sense of humour sometimes and make me laugh. Yeah. But it's not one I would it's a guilty pleasure. I'm professing it to you and to our listenership all over the world at the moment, but I don't say it very often to people that I mix it with.
Well, that's a new one. I didn't know that of you. Yeah. I mean, we are products of our time, in as much as we grew up with people like Spike Milligan who would wear sort of blackface, wouldn't he?
Yes, very much so.
Which is generally considered absolutely de rigueur now. And comedies like the one, the language school,
Mind Your Language.
Mind Your Language, or the one where there was a black family moved into the street or something. Something about neighbours. Something neighbours.
I know the one you mean.
Again, you can never imagine those sort of
Love Thy Neighbour.
Being requisitioned now.
No.
I mean, they just wouldn't.
Well, it wouldn't happen. I mean, things have moved to a position where that wouldn't happen. You do wonder if it'll circle. Because a lot of things do, don't they? A lot of things come back again after I don't think with that it will.
No. I mean, there's a fear of causing offence, and you or I would never want to cause offence to anybody. But on the other hand, you wonder how genuine an offence is if it's a programme like that. Do people really get? I don't know. Does it lead to a way of thinking?
I mean, I get quite annoyed when they'll put these programmes on. Channel 4 or 5 will put programmes on where they get people in today's younger generation to watch comedies from the 70s and then comment on them, and I think this is a pointless exercise. We know that your tastes have changed completely. We know that at the time we thought it was funny. Let's just move on and say it was funny then, it isn't funny now. For whatever reason, don't suddenly let these people lecture us on how bad we were to have thought they were ever funny.
I've got another guilty pleasure, and that is eating things that you're, strictly speaking, not supposed to eat.
It sounds a bit
no.
unusual, John. No, Where are we going with this?
I'm thinking of things, like foods that veal, for example. Poor little calves. Monkfish. endangered things that
the words that immediately come to mind are tasty.
Precisely, yeah.
Yes.
And you think to yourself, sometimes while you're eating, I really shouldn't be eating, or even things nowadays that we're made to feel guilty about, like air miles.
Yes,
you go to the supermarket, you really fancy some raspberries, say, and you notice they're coming from Morocco.
Yeah.
And you think to yourself, well, maybe I should wait until they're in season in this country, because think of the air miles, and yet you really want some raspberries.
I mean, that's it. That's the fault. That's the fault of our wanting things when we want them, isn't it? Instead of being old-fashioned and seasonal in our our diet.
Right. Yes.
I mean, the only problem with being old-fashioned and seasonal is that at this moment we'd probably be just eating turnips.
Yeah.
So, turnips and potatoes, that's about it really.
Yeah,
so,
for about 5 months.
For about 5 months, yeah, which I don't really fancy. I mean,
you've got apples and fresh fruit to eat again.
It is a guilty pleasure, and one I'm afraid I agree with,
But, we're carnivores, aren't we? I mean, how guilty does one feel eating meat when I've had friends, vegetarian friends or even vegan friends who say, that's disgusting eating meat, think of what they do, battery farmed hens and things like that. I'm
sure conditions have improved.
It's easy to feel guilty about something, isn't it, really? But then at the same time, it's nice to eat.
It's nice taste, No, it's that the sort of vegetarian vegan side of things is always an interesting one, isn't it? Because you do wonder, with the amount of stuff that is now produced for plant-based diets and things like that, which is much better than it used to be, I have to say. It's some quite tasty stuff, not all bland and uninteresting, but you do wonder how long it will be before someone says, well, actually, we use lots of water to make this, or we're wasting lots of water to clean this or whatever, because nothing comes without a price, does it? Really?
No.
To the environment normally.
Yeah, well, you can be made to feel guilty about driving your car, can't you?
Yes, of course,
fossil fuels or anything like that, but I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't call that a guilty pleasure though, because it's the sort of thing where that with cars, yes, they'd like us not to have petrol and diesel cars, but while they continue to make electric cars exceptionally expensive, even with the discounts on them, so that most of us can't afford them. I'm sorry, but it's gonna carry on like that.
Yeah. No, I think I think of it really as something that you enjoy doing, but not so much a thing that is going to make you feel guilty because you're doing it, but things that in critical terms, like we were talking about the music and things, that other people think are generally pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, guilty pleasures as far as reading is good, because we both read, we both enjoy reading.
Yes.
And I like to read, recommended books that are really sort of clever and intricate and stuff, and a great yarn. But I like to read quite often very easygoing, cosy crime detective stories, and some of them may even be produced by AI, as far as I know, because some of these authors churn them out one after the other, and you think, have you written this, or is it something that you've just got a format for that you can then change a few things in? But as a for the pleasure of reading it, I enjoy them, and I wouldn't sort of stand up in public and say my favourite books are these easygoing, cosy crime ones, but at the same time,
if you get pleasure from
it, them. I get a pleasure from them.
Yeah. I was thinking Hannah used to get gossip magazines too, and I always had a kind of weakness for looking at them. You wanted to know who was copping off with somebody else who was famous, and that's kind of seemed a bit trivial somehow, didn't it?
Oh yes,
but it's just the human interest side.
I suppose it is really. Yeah, I rail against them and think, what a load of rubbish, etc., etc. And yet, if you're in a doctor's waiting room or something, and there's nothing else to pick up and read, these days we can use our phones and scroll through the phones, but you scroll through, you're looking at the news website, and which article shall I read here? Shall I read the one that's political, or shall I read the one about someone's latest later Squeeze doing the dirty on them.
Kim Kardashian's latest bar lift or something.
Let's have a look at that, because it's easy to
I
read,
know.
isn't it? Yeah.
So really, I think we need to be proud to say, yes, it's a pleasure. We don't want you to make us feel guilty.
We don't want to feel guilty about
I'm proud.
it.
I'm going to listen to Afternoon Delight.
Yes. And I will get a listen to Benny Hill's greatest hits.
Yes.
And,
that's what we're going to go and listen to.
Giggle along to. Yes.
As soon as we terminate this, that's exactly what we're going to do.
Exactly.